Et pour terminer, on accueille Laurence Harrison de Radioplayer Monde. L'interview est en anglais. Vous trouverez la traduction à la fin de l'entretien.
Des ondes Vocast.
Laurence Harrison, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You are the Chief Partnerships Officer at Radioplayer. What your role consists on?
So I lead all the work with our partnerships with people like the car companies, who are our main focus, but also increasingly talking to broadcasters and other big tech providers.
So today you are at Radiodays for a few days, and what are the main innovations that you are presenting during this Radiodays?
Well, for us, it's a really big event because we're prototyping and showing for the first time a hybrid radio experience that has some really cool new features, which we think are great for the listener, but also for broadcasters. So we have a working prototype demo of a fully automotive compliant hybrid radio, which does two things. Firstly, it will sync with all your other radio player apps, whether it be the mobile app or the TV app, so that if you're listening to your favorite station on your mobile, you get into the car, if you've synced it up, it will continue playing the live radio station or the podcast that you were listening to before, and vice versa when you get out of the car with your other devices. Secondly, we're also demoing a more feature, which is a kind of deeper dive into a radio station's content. And that can be delivered either through doing a link to a broadcaster's own automotive app, or Radio Player. If we have the metadata, we can also provide that additional more content. But that link to the broadcaster app has never been demoed before, and we're showing it here for the first time.
So what is really important for Radio Player is to indeed improve this user experience, but it's also to get more partnerships with car manufacturers to make sure that this application is present in cars. What is the status of the partnerships that you are making worldwide with the car manufacturers at this stage?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, it's worth saying that from a Radio Player perspective, we see ourselves as quite unique in this space because we're supported and owned only by radio broadcasters. We're acting strategically on behalf of the radio industry. And one of the things we do is fight for radio's prominence. And to secure that, we need to have a really good user experience, which is what we're showing today. In terms of the status of the partnerships, well, we're starting from a good place. So we've already got 4 million cars on the road in Europe and partnerships with 15 car maker brands. But I think we're in a bit of a moment when it comes to these partnerships and collaborations between Radio Player, the radio industry and car makers. So in the coming weeks and months, you'll hear some announcements from us about new partnerships with hopefully more to come throughout the rest of this year. So yeah, we're really pleased and things are going well.
So present in cars, but obviously you need also to have Radio Player present in the maximum of countries. So Radio Player started in the UK. Now you have quite a good footprint in Western Europe. What is the status as well of your deployment in other countries?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and we're working really hard to build an international presence for Radio Player. So as you said, we're almost complete across Europe now, and there's going to be some new announcements of countries joining Radio Player again in the coming days. But we're working hard to expand those relationships to other key regions: North America, South America, Asia, and Middle East and Africa. And that's going really, really well. I think people see the Radio Player collaboration as something that's really important for cars. And something that can help them fix, the continued listening to radio in what is becoming a more competitive environment. So yeah, it's a really important initiative for us to grow internationally, and we're doing a lot of work on that at the moment.
One last word, the EBU, so representing public broadcasters mainly in Europe, have released the playbook for the presence of radio in cars. Have you contributed to this, and why is it important for the industry?
Yeah, so the Playbook initiative is something that we've been across since it launched, and it's unsurprising because most, if not all of the members of the EBU are also part of Radio Player already. And what that provides is a set of guidelines, if you want, guidelines and starts to present a roadmap for radio in cars. And the difference, I think, is we've been working closely with the Playbook and will continue to do so. I think the thing about Radio Player is that we are the delivery mechanism for those guidelines. So we are taking some of those things there and other features, and we actually work with the car companies to bring them to life in the car, and not just with public service broadcasters, but with all broadcasters, whether they be public service, commercial, large or small. So I think that's important because we're an enabler for those guidelines and a delivery mechanism, And we've been working closely with them. We'll continue to do so. But at the same time, we're bringing all of our broadcasters with us on this journey. And what we're showing on the stand today is the first steps towards a longer-term vision for radio in the car that we want to deliver in collaboration with all our broadcasters, including the Playbook and EBU.
Laurence Harrison, live from the Radiodays. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Alors, Laurence Harrison est le Chief Partnership Officer de Radioplayer Monde. Je lui ai demandé en quoi consistait son rôle. Eh bien, il s'occupe principalement des partenariats avec les constructeurs automobiles, très important pour Radioplayer, mais aussi ceux avec les radios dans les différents pays. Je lui ai ensuite demandé quelles étaient les innovations qui avaient été présentées durant ces Radiodays. Il a dit que la principale innovation, c'était ce prototype de radio hybride qui a été présenté pendant 3 jours sur le stand de Radioplayer et qui apporte 2 innovations majeures. La première, c'est la synchronisation de l'application entre appareils. Radioplayer se synchronise entre son mobile, sa télé connectée et sa voiture, ce qui permet une écoute en continu quand on bascule d'un appareil à l'autre. Par exemple, quand on rentre dans sa voiture, la voiture reprend le flux du programme que l'on écoutait sur son mobile. La deuxième innovation de ce prototype, c'est ce qu'il appelle le deep dive en anglais, ou la navigation en profondeur, qui permet à travers l'application Radioplayer non seulement d'écouter la radio, bien sûr, et les podcasts via Radioplayer, mais aussi, si on veut aller plus loin, de cliquer sur un lien qui, cette fois-ci, ouvre l'application propre de la station de radio et potentiellement retrouver encore davantage de contenu et de services. J'ai demandé ensuite à Laurence quel était le statut des partenariats avec les constructeurs automobiles. Il a dit que c'était déjà bien avancé, avec déjà 4 millions de voitures sur les routes en Europe équipées de Radioplayer, et bien que cela grâce au partenariat avec déjà une quinzaine de constructeurs automobiles. Il dit que c'est un moment crucial pour l'implémentation de Radioplayer qui, on le rappelle, appartient à l'industrie radio, et que de nouveaux partenariats avec des constructeurs seront annoncés cette année. J'ai demandé ensuite à Laurence quel était le statut des partenariats, cette fois-ci avec les différents pays, puisque Radioplayer est implémenté pays par pays avec les éditeurs radio locaux. Il a confirmé que le statut de l'Europe était déjà très avancé avec la majorité de pays couverts, qu'une extension était encore en cours sur l'Europe de l'Est et à présent qu'il y avait une ambition d'extension sur les autres continents, l'Amérique du Nord, l'Amérique du Sud, l'Asie, le Moyen-Orient et l'Afrique. J'ai enfin demandé à Laurence si Radioplayer avait participé à la rédaction du livre blanc de la radio en automobile préparé par l'IBU ou UER, l'Union européenne de radiodiffusion, qui représente les médias du service public en Europe. Alors ce livre blanc ou playbook donne les bonnes pratiques sur la présence de la radio en automobile. D'abord sa présence tout court, puis son intuitivité sur les tableaux de bord et puis les services associés. Laurence Harrison a confirmé que Radioplayer avait participé de manière très importante à ce livre blanc, ne serait-ce que parce que Radioplayer, avec son expérience unique et le fait qu'elle appartienne aux radios, eh bien, a développé ses principes au fur et à mesure des années. Ce retour d'expérience a donc nourri ce livre blanc de bonnes pratiques.
Des ondes Vocast.